This is the May 8th meeting of the Policy Review Committee. We haven't met since January, so we have a number of items to catch up on before we can move forward. And one of the things that came up recently is in regard to the policy that was signed in January, I believe, on appointments and reappointments to committees. And it was signed off by the Board of Selectmen on January 26th. And I have since then had a lengthy comment from one of the residents who was concerned about particular wording in here. So what I did was, I told him he was welcome to come to the meeting to discuss this further if he wanted to. I had discussed it with Ted Pradlock. And I made copies for you so you can read them and then see if between now and the next meeting, if you think we might want to recommend any changes to the Board of Selectmen. Ted's view on it was that, let me back up for a second. I believe these comments were triggered by that form that came out to everybody in the town that's currently on the committee, asking them to basically sign the form, send it back if you want to stay on the committee, because most of the committees are for one-year appointments. And according to Ted, this past year, the Board of Selectmen basically reappointed everybody that was on the committee. And then later found out that there were quite a number of people that didn't want to continue, but didn't say anything. The town didn't ask, they didn't say anything. So they came up with this form to bring it to people's attention that you should let the board know if you want to continue on the committee. But that triggered these comments. So you can take a look at them. And
public hearing, you want to read these so that everybody can read?
I don't want to read the whole thing tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's quite necessary. Okay.
Well, you
We'll discuss the change or suggestion, change.
Next meeting.
Yeah. And that will be published.
Right.
do you know in which part of the policy these,
He's talking specifically about the reappointments. So I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on this tonight because you haven't had a chance to read it and give it some thought. So I'm giving you the comments. Take a look at them and we will cover this at our next meeting. Next meeting, May 22nd. It is.
Yeah. My sister.
Do we get cake?
Yeah, I bring cake.
oh, sisters here?
Does she live in Maine?
No.
A lot of cake in Maine. Okay.
She doesn't get that other stuff. Well, people are right.
No,
That does.
She moves one every 2 months too.
Okay. Virginia has pointed out to me that because of the type of microphone she's using, we don't have the newest ones that they required. We have to talk a little louder than we normally do.
We want the best equipment in the world.
We have it here, but just not in this room. So, next time. Okay, well, while we were all away, I think I sent you all, I forwarded on to you the email that I got from Jennifer Rue asking that we establish a policy regarding excise tax exemptions for individuals that have Purple Hat and also have 100% disability plates. I haven't gotten anywhere from this, because when I tried to get into the Maine Municipal Association, they informed me that my password had expired. So I'm assuming that that's in conjunction with the appointment. So I have to take up with Jennifer get authorized all over again.
What exactly is their suggestion?
Well, she said this was a practice that's in place now, but they want it documented. So what they do is they give basically a discount to anyone who has a Purple Hat license plate, and/or also has two other veterans that hold a disabled vet license plate. You can only get one per family, so if you have more than one vehicle, more than one disabled plate, the town's only gonna give you one discount. Now, there is a state law,
I thought so.
which is what I was trying to access. Now, the state law that was referenced talks about towns, cities, villages, having the ability to opt in or not on excise tax exemptions for people that are serving on active duty in the armed forces. But they're going on a little bit different slant. They're talking about just doing the discounts for Purple Hat recipients and 100% disabled vets that have license plates. The town. Because the state points out that they're giving municipalities the ability to opt in or out because whatever discount the town or city gives is a minus figure on our budget, on the town's budget revenue. So it's something that they put out there as an option. So, again, this item will have to be tabled until next meeting. Jennifer also pointed out that it does not apply to campers, ATVs, boats, only motor vehicles.
And only one motor vehicle per family.
Right.
So it's like for the vet or the person who drives
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's what I would take it, yeah.
And is it, I did a little tiny bit of research, and then mostly I went to like the tax exemptions for veterans affairs and stuff. And a lot of them are explicit in that it has to be a 100% disability.
Yes, they did say that. So I wanted to see what the exact wording of the state statute is. I have a piece of
That's
it
an
here.
MMA thing? State statute?
Name this one?
All the state statutes are referenced somewhere.
Those, yeah, but those are online.
Maybe there's links to it.
You probably be able to get it right on the main state main government.
Because the sample form that I received talks about the other ordinance, which exempts people that are on active duty for more than 180 days. And I think,
Who gave you it?
Jennifer, I believe it came with it so that perhaps we would do some similar wording, but it wouldn't be for,
But that's
180 days.
not an active policy.
not in this town, this is not under consideration.
Okay.
I don't know if the Board of Selectmen ever considered it or not, but it's,
Right.
if they did, I don't know about it. And I don't honestly know how long we've been doing this discount. It's just that it has not been documented.
So how many Purple Hearts are in Acton?
You'd be surprised. I've been surprised by the amount of people that just in my neighborhood who
Does it have
have
a plate?
Purple Heart. Yeah, that's.
Does it have a plate?
I know, part of the delay in this is that, the assistant town clerk left in the last few weeks, and there was also the referendum election. So it's been pretty busy in the town clerk's office. since at least the beginning of April. Fortunately, April stayed on through the 20th, because that was the last day to pay, I believe it was property taxes, so she knew it would be particularly busy. So she stayed on for that, which was nice of her.
Yeah.
So, anyway, another one for next time. And, all right, just on the checks. Did you get my email?
I have
From
not,
the
I think I've
referee
looked at my
saying that
email
the-
twice since we did that.
Well, I had accepted for Wi-Fi service while I was in Florida, so that's why it didn't work for me. Just before leaving in January, I gave what I thought was, we all thought was the dishonored checks final draft to town clerk for review, comment. And upon returning, there were some changes. And I got changes from Michelle Lumley, the treasurer. And what I did was I took the one that we had, which is this one. Dated the 9th. And I think the first comments came from Larissa. And she said that this should be taken out because since we only are accepting cash, there isn't going to be any check to be cleared.
Right.
Or if it's a cashier's check, I said, yeah, you know, that's right. Okay. So then, Michelle's comments were to change the 5 days to 10. So that's fine, if that's what she does. However, I only noticed this afternoon, when I looked at the attachment, that the dishonored check notice that she sends out still says 5. So I have to get clarification from her on that. But then she had this paragraph that she wanted inserted for clarification. So what I did was, I redrafted the one that we thought we were going with. And this was, and I reformatted as well.
No redlining?
You know, my computer never heard of redlining until you brought it up.
She can put that in there.
You wouldn't believe the zoo.
Trying to get rid of all the redlining from this policy, even though we finished it.
So what I did on the revised one is, the second paragraph encompasses what the treasurer would like to have added.
Is the fee that's charged above and beyond the check?
Yes.
He's not resubmitting the check 3 times. He's making an actual attempt to collect the money from you. He can't by law keep depositing that check that many times. The bank won't take it. That needs to be clarified.
Well, this is exactly what, I mean, I
What
changed,
she wrote,
I
right.
changed a few of her words, but
Well, it does say he's going to deposit, it says attempt to collect the check. Maybe we make the collect the amount, might be better.
This whole paragraph is new. It's
Yeah.
not a revision on a paragraph that's already in there.
okay.
And is this addressed in any way in any of the other paragraphs?
Part of it was, which is why I ended up just reformatting everything.
A check dishonored. Okay, for non-sufficient.
Do you know, are you familiar with the
Less
process?
than. When it goes to a collection agency, the bank only gets partial funds. Well, no, not even the bank. The agency is gonna try to collect the money from that person. They're not gonna go try to go to the bank or anything from you. The fee that they charge, the ones that we use at work, the fee fee usually comes, is a percentage of what they have to collect, and the town will lose that, so I don't know how they're collecting that fee.
Well, so we also want to consider exactly how much information we need to put on a public
So
policy.
that's true too.
Are we really trying to convey basically that there is a process and that the more processing is done, the more it's going to cost the payor of the check when it bounces? Does the payor of the check really need to know every step that's going on in the background?
You don't need to give them the name of the company either.
Right,
Because what if
she-
they, right, if they
Seems to want
change.
But also, as long as, the policies that are being done are also used by the town as a procedure.
I'm sorry.
And this is something that would probably would need to be part of the internal procedure that the town has. But does the town use the policies as the procedure? And if so, maybe that would need to be included.
Okay. We are not, this committee is not doing internal procedures.
Right.
I think that's where that paragraph.
And so we can assume that the town doesn't use these as a procedure. Their intent is not to.
I think it's more for information to the public. Do you think it's too much information?
What, to include that paragraph?
Yeah, I kind of think it is a lot of information. You might, if you want to just say that, you know, if we have to send this to a third-party collector, it's going to be an additional fee. That might be worthwhile, but, you know, if they actually put the company's name in, I mean, what if next month they change companies, we have to change the procedure again.
Okay.
You know, I think Elaine's right, this does sound like the procedure thing versus a policy thing.
But
Yeah,
I-
the first sentence should be enough.
But I think that's something that, if someone from the town is suggesting this to us, and that was April, is that right? Who suggested this
No,
paragraph?
no, this came from Michelle Rumney, the
Michelle,
treasurer.
who's the treasurer. So if she's asking for this to be included in it, she must think it's important enough, I would think. And if the town uses this policy book as part of them functioning, the procedures for operating the town, then if she thinks it's important enough to be in there, you know, maybe it can be reworded, but perhaps it should be in there.
After the first sentence, it becomes the policy of the other company. The company will try to collect the check 3 times. What if the next company only tries to do it twice? Or the policy of theirs is to, you know, go to your house, knock on your door, and then try to collect it from you. That second sentence is the policy of the committee, or of the
Of the
other
second
company.
company.
And that is not our problem, or the town people's problem. You can put the if unable to collect, you will then receive, you know, something from us, but the second sentence is,
Well, the second and the third sentence? Too much information?
well, if she wants to put something about, then the check is returned to the treasurer, you know, to try to collect on the things below or something, but the company will attempt to collect the check 3 times is not the town's
Yeah,
policy.
so what you're saying is, you
Right.
could just say a check that is dishonored by a bank for non-sufficient funds that is less than $2,500 and not a business check will go through a third-party collection agency, their
Period.
name, period. And then after that, if unable to collect the check is returned. If the collection agency is unable to collect the check is returned to the treasurer for other methods of collection described below. And then that
Just say a personal check for less than $2,500. You don't need to say a check that's not a business check.
Why would there be a difference, do you think?
On the way they collect them.
I mean, why would it make any difference if it was a personal check or a business check?
Well, because then it begs the question, what do you do for a bad check from a business?
Right.
Unless they treat a business check separately. Which I don't know.
Do
If
business
it's-
checks pay personal?
If it's already been dishonored, a dishonored check is a dishonored check. It shouldn't matter where it comes from. A business or a person.
A question to be asked. Now, this exhibit that I got for the dishonored check notice is dated 2007, so maybe it has been updated. So,
That's the
is it
notice.
5 days or 10 days? Yeah, Michelle said 10 days, but the notice says 5 days
Yeah,
in 2 different places.
that's the.
Well, I got a cleaner copy because you know that other one that we had that
Yeah,
got
I
marked
was
up?
gonna say that's the one that, we didn't know it needed to be an attachment to this policy. Because the wording was different on the form than what we had in the policy.
Oh,
Remember?
yes.
Yeah.
All right, so then I just went on to list of in a different order what we had in here for corrective action.
That was Michelle's.
Yeah. Any thoughts, comments on the format or the wording compared to what we had
Do
before?
we have these in other spots?
Yeah, the bullets with those somewhere.
Not in this.
No. But that shape. To be consistent.
Not
Just-
on any other policy?
Yes. We have dots anywhere else?
I think we might have had
I
like,
have to look online and see what we did or what the town clerk might have changed.
we have numbers or, I'm not sure if we've ever had any letters or stuff, paragraph.
Sometimes I'm not keen on numbering things because then it sets a pecking order
And then-
that I didn't want to
Then they have to be changed.
convey. No, depending on the policy.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's, well, this one here, property schedule for foreclosure, we had the symbol down there.
Okay. Got the little arrows.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess that's how you know when I'm typing what Elaine or somebody else types.
I'm not even sure if I have that symbol on my computer.
Well, it doesn't look like that on the keyboard, but
Right, depending upon what font you use, those things will change.
Oh, how did I get that?
Hold down the gate.
Hold it down?
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you just rest on something, you could be looking at something.
It was typed.
Oh, you weren't looking at something and had a finger rest on it?
I typed a word that had an A in it, and they would give me like 9 choices of what
That's what I'm
A,
saying.
and the O would come up the same thing, and frustrated.
Stay.
And that was just a tad too long.
the other item
Yeah,
that,
that's a big one.
that Michelle wanted to add was on the, one of the last paragraphs where we said, do not accept checklists will be maintained.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
She said for repeat offenders, so then I thought, okay, so we really need to define what's a repeat offender.
Where is this?
Well, it's on here. On my latest, greatest version. It's in the next to the last paragraph.
What's the date? 5/8?
Yeah. So I put in a time frame for your consideration.
2 times in 2 years.
Well, if I just said for repeat
Oh, I
offenders, people are gonna say, well,
What's
what,
that?
what defines a repeat offender?
Then it opens up too much for,
And I'm sure we could come up with 4 different
who gets it?
ideas as to,
Yes.
perceptions as to what is a repeat.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought, well, since most of the checks, and I'm thinking my own situation, that I pay to the town, I usually do them once a year. So I didn't say, so for that reason, I said basically 2 in a row in a 2-year period.
Mhm.
But, you know,
Or twice.
does that make sense to you, or do you think that's,
Twice in a 2-year period.
Some people pay them every 6 months, right?
That pay like property taxes every 6 months, yeah.
And what are these?
okay. I'm just saying, if you bounced a check 2 times in 2 years, you go on the hit list.
Sure.
Notice you have come off the hit list?
I mean, if this happened in 1945,
Well, this is
You
also
know?
not just for taxpayers, right?
No, it's
No, no,
excise.
it's like any
Excise
check.
tax,
Yeah.
anything, anything.
Well, there is a list hanging on the wall in the town clerk's office. Perhaps it does make sense to you. You know if you were on there. You'd be paying up the green stamps. Well, what length of time should we set?
Well, she
Not
just
exactly.
brought up a good point, is that some taxes, the taxes are paid twice a year, right? By April, and then by, what is it?
October.
October. So it's paid twice a year, so it could happen in 1 year. How about just two consecutive occurrences?
No, I wouldn't be happy with that,
No?
if I was the town clerk.
So then you get in the problem of tracking this too, you know, if the guy gives this on a check, how do you go back and see if he had another one?
Well, that's how he gets on
Years
the
ago.
list.
Well, somehow now it works currently between, I'm sorry, the town clerk and the treasurer.
Is it a one strike thing now?
Well, I can ask what is,
Repeat has to be more than one.
well, that's why I say more than 1 is 2,
Right.
to me. I don't want to give him 3 or 4 chances.
No, this is policy.
My God.
With the hammer, you know?
Aside from whatever policy they have right now, since it's not been defined, how long do you think a person's name should stay on the bad check list?
7 years.
Life.
Why 7?
On the list of bad checks,
5?
You haven't come up with a number yet?
who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Does it get, we have 5, 7, infinity?
Come on, it's not very often you get to vote on something.
but, I don't know, probably, I would say 4 or 5 years.
5 seems to be the going rate.
5?
For
Yes.
a person's name to remain on, but. Well, but, what if it was like, so for 5 years after they've straightened themselves out, their name would still appear on the list?
They still have to pay cash or use a treasurer's check or money order.
Oh. Everyone deserves a second chance.
That's why they get 2.
Well, they will in 5 years.
They got 2 chances, they struck out on 1.
So you think it should be like this?
I was 7, I think.
Yeah, you started with 7.
You said
You said
5.
life.
You said
You
never.
said life. Boy, they're hard.
Now, come on, we can't spend all night.
Well,
Decide
what
what's
is it?
reasonable. I said 5.
She said 5, I said 7, he said never, so pick one.
I say no more than 5.
Okay.
Why couldn't we say 7? What does that represent to you?
Isn't that the IRS thing? Yeah, 7 years, the IRS
Supposed to be
taxing
right.
you, right. But 5 is fine.
It seems a more valuable than just spending an idea. But I think 5 years is a long time. If someone went through just a difficult time and, didn't pay their tax on time, 5 years to have to do that.
Now,
What,
this is
go
a-
down the bank and get a money order? It's not like that.
This is a repeat offender. This is not a one-time situation.
So I shouldn't be doing that.
No, you can feel bad for them to do it. I mean, I feel bad for people, but,
All say that now, that does not feel bad for anybody.
Now, I think this would be fair. Exactly what is the difference that they would have to do? A personal check would no longer be accepted by the
It
tax
has no
rate.
bank
For
and cashier's
anything,
check.
not just the taxes, for everything.
right.
So they would just simply have to go and get a bank check or okay cash.
Or I assume you use the credit card.
Well, they-
These are things, never mind.
There's a separate policy of surcharge. Who knows how surcharges, so.
So it's not that much. 5 years. I think it could be different.
All right, we'll see if the board of selectmen will agree. And we'll find out what they're doing now. If the paper on the wall with the names is in parchment,
Yeah.
then we know it's there for life.
Take the town,
Where is that actually going to go?
The do not accept list?
So instead of 2 times in a period of 2 years?
No, that will stay.
Oh, that will stay? And where are you going to add for 5 years? For a period of years?
Names will remain on the do not accept checklist for a maximum of 5 years. Right? Sorry, I know that was stretching out my legs.
Now,
Can you stretch in different directions?
yep, that's what I was doing.
For 5 years?
Virginia, you're not filming your feet, are you?
hold on.
I know, you're so suave.
Just, names will remain on the, do not accept checklist for 5 years?
After the last infraction.
Ideas after the last infraction?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. Putting this in here for now. Because I'm just using the camera, I'm recording on the camera.
Right,
You know,
right, yeah. Yep, that's for another one.
You know, you think you've done something, and you just take it apart and
There's 2 hyphens there, she's supposed to be one. Thinking it's.
I did that because I didn't want to put in the colon.
You just mitigate that.
Yes, all policies and procedures are always a work in progress. Every time you read these, you can think of changes to make to them. Any other comments, suggestions?
Nothing else has been changed, right? It's exactly.
If you're going to keep this second paragraph, the 2 that is should come out. A check dishonored by the bank.
Check.
The funds
Oh, yeah.
less than.
But that please is better.
I got you on your article, didn't I?
Well, it's a good thing somebody got A grammar here.
Oh, no. Just hate that word.
Which one?
That is,
That.
just that.
No, just,
So what about the second that is?
Django.
And it will be
so we
by a
check,
bank for non-sufficient
a check
funds.
dishonored by a bank for non-sufficient funds
Of less, for less.
or less than $2,500.
And probably should say a personal check, and then you don't have to put the not a business check.
I know, but then
Then
there
you,
could be a
then
whole
you're
other paragraph
labeling.
on what we do about business checks.
Well,
Let's kind of open it up the way.
oh, yeah, anyway, yeah.
Well, I
Now, you're a
thought we-
small businessman, right?
I am.
Did you ever bounce a check? You ever get, well, no, we're gonna have resources to fall back on here.
I'll be right back.
Well, didn't we say that we were gonna, keep that business checks, that mention of business checks, because it should be referred to all?
It should be
You're
generic.
gonna ask that, that's
I
what
am,
it is.
yes, what, I am. I did, right here.
I saw it.
Business checks. Why doesn't it just say any check, just checks, a check? Business or personal? Because a business check would be just as dishonored.
Oh, it's probably more likely to
More,
bounce.
likely.
especially nowadays, for small businessmen.
Haven't you heard? Things are getting better.
That's right. People keep telling me that.
They keep saying.
I'm not feeling it, Virginia.
379 in Maine.
379?
379
Why the trading post finally went down?
No, Lowe's in Alfred. They're usually $300, 379 now.
It's 371 over at the Cumberland Station in Milton.
All right.
Yes,
That's New Hampshire though. This is Maine.
Well, it's the next town. They're my neighbor.
Yeah, you're closer there, yeah.
It's on PJ's.
Well, it's election year.
Saturday?
Saturday, yep.
Sunday. I was
Sunday.
on PJ's Sunday, got gas down there, pulled out the gas at the gas station right next to it was 3 cents less.
Really?
Yeah, it's,
All depends on when you get it.
I think we're falling off the track here.
oh yeah.
Sorry.
I'll go with it.
No, probably not either.
All right, are we through with this one for this evening?
Yes.
So you're gonna check about the business, if it should just say a
I
check.
wrote right down here.
And
What is it?
if, about the form, having 5 days, and the
Yeah,
process.
we're next to and we'll get another sample of this on check notes.
Not for me.
No.
No, just from the town.
I didn't take any of those from you.
I promise I won't do any more. Honestly, with that.
I know, we should sit at separate tables.
You want to come out to my garden?
No, just because you, things have a habit of gravitating toward your own, and then I never see them.
Oh,
again.
yeah, that's right. I
Being
forgot.
an election warden, do you have to go Monday night?
What's gonna be?
Candidate night?
No, I don't think they need a referee,
We never know.
just for voting,
Okay.
elections, referendums and municipal
Where
elections.
is,
Next one would
where
be
is
June.
the candidate
I
now?
would assume here.
Here, this coming Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the bulletin board.
Are there any candidates? Are there? Oh, he's the fellow that does the boat stuff.
What is it?
He does the boat safety programs.
Talking business.
They're gonna wonder what we're doing here. It's supposed to be a public meeting. So I'm
Get
thinking,
down there.
so is Mr. Cash. Oh, I invited him to the next meeting if you want to come, did you? So I will check in with him later.
Is that okay?
I did tell him that I had spoken to Ted on his issue, and Ted explained the reason why they sent the forms out. And general viewing public.
Sweet.
She's quite thoughtful.
She does.
I'll have to go into the town hall and rescind. Stop. All right. Where are we?
Did you get that?
You can start dressing better.
Nothing done now.
Steve, last time we met, way back, January, we better regraph some comments that we all had on that staff research policy.
But then you told me not to. Now that you say that, I do recall that. I did have notes. Then you told me not to because of this issue that came up. And let's see. Yes.
Which one?
Staff research
Oh,
/ investigation.
Yeah,
And Jennifer had emailed you a copy.
Yep.
It's actually, it's in a larger font than what we were looking at.
it's went to 124. Did this is
Oh, we're
Jennifer
getting
this morning.
information on the Freedom of Access Act, right?
Yeah,
Okay, there it is. Look at that. 113.
The internet policy. There's also planning.
February 14th, notice that the staff research policy the committee is going to work on next was emailed out as promised. My apologies.
Okay, and then it was attached with the,
Yeah.
So I can make the changes if you like, but right after we met. Yeah,
what's that
it
say?
says Virginia will ask about the revision thing. But right after we met, I either got an email from you or Jennifer saying not to make the changes because there was some other issue, and I can't remember what the issue is now. But I certainly can make it if you like.
Check my game again here.
I have not made them, obviously.
Then, see, January 16th, there was an email from Elaine with some further thoughts.
I think that's because you didn't attend that meeting.
No, I didn't attend
That's why
that meeting, yeah.
That's why I did the changes.
Amazing how something that happened 3 months ago was just erased from my memory bank.
You never really have.
Oh man, that happens more and more frequently. That's all I have.
I think it's safe to say we're starting over on this, because I think
Okay,
we kind of chopped this up a bit, went over
Yeah,
it
we had-
last time we met.
Quite a bit.
And
yeah, and I can make the changes and have it ready for next meeting, if I like.
So the policy that we received from Jennifer, which you did do some work on that?
No, look at it.
Okay, so we haven't made any changes
No,
on it?
we haven't made changes, I haven't made the changes to the document yet. But when we met on the 17th of January, we made a bunch of changes. I just haven't done them yet, and I swear you don't have to. But,
What were they? Can you review, just go over what the changes were?
It's,
wait a minute.
Isn't this one of the ones we thought we were going to break down, not try to rewrite what they had, that we've made so many changes, it would just be easier to write it from the get-go?
maybe because they've got a preamble, and these different section numbers, which
Right.
we don't use the term preamble.
And we have really torn it apart.
It's not even called the same thing.
No,
And, when I got staff research investigation, I thought to myself, what the heck is that? definitely request for public information. And there must be, there's laws on the public information policy, right? Aren't they state laws, federal laws?
Well,
And
what I did was I
federal
Freedom of
laws.
information.
Yeah.
I went into MMA, back when it was being new to me, and printed off these frequently asked questions. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think a lot of the
I don't
information
know pens.
that they want
Can I just make a couple of
appropriate
notes?
in here is in this question and answer section.
Questions for what? For our policy or the Freedom of Information Act?
This is for the Freedom of Information Act. Why don't I make copies of this and circulate it? I just thought it might provide some basic information, more of a starting place
I think you talked about that, Jim.
to redraft.
Right, that's what I thought we were not doing anything for, because we were waiting to get more information on this.
We've got it.
Because that was a sticking point, trying to put in how much of these rules we were going to put into these rules. Do we have access to a copier now?
No,
No, okay.
the offices come all locked.
Can you send us the link? Oh, why don't you give us the link and we can go on and print it out?
Well, I got this on MMA, and I can't.
Oh, okay, you got it. Okay.
But
Yeah,
still,
you
if you just,
probably can't get into it.
if you just went on to Maine government,
Yeah.
maine.gov, and put in Freedom of Access Act, maybe the same thing would come up.
Yeah, I can.
Go for it, or at least close enough to it.
All right, well, let's, if you can't get this, let me know, and I will photocopy it, get it out to you.
Yeah, I think I've seen that name marked out. Yeah.
At a glance, when you go through this, it looks like there's a lot of not particularly useful information. It's a lot of verbiage,
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
not definitive at all. I think basically, we need to set the parameters as to how far in advance the request comes in and until we actually, or the town actually responds with an answer. What the fees are and I would think we might even get it down to one page.
Yeah.
Everything we cut out.
So do you want
Yes.
Steve to go up and make the changes that he's made at the last meeting?
Well, do you want to take this and take a look at it and see if, after looking at this, if it makes sense to go through and do those changes or not? And I'll just
I
print
put
this out again.
two notes that Virginia will ask here. On section 2.4. I just have a note that says Virginia will ask.
I got a big question mark on mine.
2.4?
Yeah.
Yeah, disciplinary action.
Oh, yeah.
The other one I have is on the revision paragraph of 1.5 on the first page. So, again, it says Virginia last.
Yep.
Then the other policies have quite a well-defined revision statement like this does, and I think that's why we're concerned about that.
Okay, so I will.
Okay.
Will you email us a copy of those changes, please?
All right.
She's tough.
What they call it, Freedom of Access
Yep.
Act.
Yep. OEA. An aggrieved person. Any aggrieved person may appeal to the Superior Court.
That's a matter of perception.
Grief? Yes.
I'm aggrieved, so should I appeal to the Superior Court?
No.
Do you know good? After we finish with the ones that we have right now, there is a policy for purchasing guidelines.
Found one.
Right. And
Thrown out.
internet policy. The purchasing guidelines, part of it I need to talk to Michelle Roney about, and there's a portion in there that's specific to bids, the bid process, and I was told to talk to Randy about that. Internet policy, we had talked about very briefly a few months ago, and it's been determined that Jennifer Lee is the person that we should be talking to for current details on how that policy works.
It was written in 2005. I think the internet's changed a little since.
Yeah,
I
we
can-
wondered if we shouldn't talk to the person who does who oversees all the computers, right?
Well, the board of selectmen said that's Jennifer.
Oh, okay.
But at the moment, where she is shorthanded, and we obviously have several other things to take care of before we get to that, I don't see us working on this internet policy for at least a month.
Okay.
Because nobody has said it's any particular priority. And I will visit the town clerk tomorrow to get my access restored to MMA. So did you all turn in your forms?
Yes.
Saying you wanted to be reappointed to this committee, by the way?
Yes.
Good.
Did you? Of course.
Good question.
I think that's all we'll cover for this evening. We've done